Well, I want to talk about women in the military because I know that they got women in combat, right? Whatever the hell that's going to be. But there's a hell of a lot of political correctness in the military, left and right. And I'm going to tell you one thing. There's one thing that the military is about. It's about cost savings, money. This is what women are about, you know. Anyway, it's mine. But anyway, the thing is, when you're doing an operation or you have a specific goal, it's always like, how much is it going to cost me? For instance, if we're putting in this foundation on something like that, and everybody's got to pour the concrete, you got to get the rebar, and guys got to get out there and level stuff. You're not going to hire a woman because we're going to hire a woman. It's like you will hire a woman too. If she get the job done cheaper, you think they're not going to hire a woman? They'll hire a woman, guarantee you. But that's generally not the case. By far, it's generally not the case. The only woman I could say that I respect that do this job of a guy is an independent contractor that says she's going to be a plumber, she's going to be a contractor, she's going to be a bricklayer, and she goes out there and gets her own jobs, bids her own jobs, does her work, and builds her business. But how many of those are around? Not too many. But you know what? It exists. And see, that really is the equal opportunity. Equal opportunity is the freaking money. The money. I can't grab all this shit. There's a couple piles. This is, the money, right? So, I like 50s. I don't like hundreds, But the thing is, what you have to deal with in the military is political correctness. That's what the deal is. And most males are afraid of the military freaking women. But, in actually a field situation, a lot of rules and a lot of freaking things go out the door. Nobody's going to give a shit. And there are going to be certain males that are going to rape the women. They'll never do it on a main side or somewhere on base or whatever the hell it is. They're not going to do it there in that situation. But get it out in the field, that's what's going to happen. I don't know what these women are thinking anyway. It's some pumped up, glorified Madison Avenue bullshit. And actually, males are stupid to go in the military for combat anyway. It's freaking stupid. There's nothing good about it, really. Not at all. So, the thing is, though, with the women, they're not going to, I'm going to tell you this also. Even if you do these measurements, and the measurements aren't the same. The physical standards aren't the same. The run standards aren't the same. The upper body strength isn't the same. But say you even have a woman that can run a marathon in under 3 hours, right? She could beat the hell out of every single guy out there practically in the military, right? And there are women out there that can run marathons under 3 hours. Put a pack on them, squish. Because usually they're a little skinny thing that weighs 110 pounds or 98 pounds, and they squash. The whole thing is, it's almost like, can you go the distance day after day and do the job and carry the weight? Because there's a lot of times these women that even have a lot of endurance, they're skinny little shits. And then it's also the aggressive predatory attitude. So, I don't know. I think it's bullshit. I know it's bullshit. And actually, I don't think it's a game where they need bodies and stuff like that. Actually, what's going on is, this policy is to weaken the U.S. military and set it up for defeat. It's bullshit. That's what I really think it is. The military should be run like this. Cost. Money. Cost. Money. What does it take to get the job done? And that goes back to my point, too, about, do we need a military if all the Americans are armed? No. We don't need too much of a military, do we, to defend our borders and defend our nation, do we, if all Americans are pretty well armed, right? That's another thing. So this is a game that's going on. It really has nothing to do with cost, just like in a business or an entrepreneur would do. It has to do with political correctness. And yeah, you can find some women that could do something in some area. I hear this garbage, used to hear this shit like, oh, she fired an expert on her range, so she did really high. And then the next year they fuck up. But you don't hear about all the people that go unqualified. Because actually, to tell you the truth, in the military, women are treated with kid gloves. And that's not by me. Not by me at all. So, I don't know what it is. I think it's political correctness or whatever the hell it is. It's some kind of bullshit that's going on. But these are the kind of careerists we got in the military that are about that. Because it's not about saving money and getting the job done as cheap as possible. It's about, it's about political correctness. It's a bureaucracy. It's bullshit. So I think this actual deal with the women in the military and women in combat is going to be a mess. And it's designed to be such that way. So It is not good. An average person can argue any way they want. This ain't my opinion. It really is how it is. Think about it. What you got to do in the military, it's a certain cost, and that's it. You got to get that cost as low as possible. And if a woman can do the job cheaper, fine. But you know what? That isn't the reason. That isn't really the reason. You know it. Because look around, even at entrepreneurs who are like subcontractors and stuff like that. How many women do you see out there like climbing up trees and trimming branches and stuff like that and doing heavy labor? Not many. As an independent contractor. I'm not talking about working for the city as a fireman or some bullshit like that. I'm talking about she's got to hustle up her own contracts. There ain't too many like that. So that's the thing. I'm telling you, it's actually a politically correct agenda. And I think it's designed to weaken the military. Remember, the military is about getting a job done for a certain cost. Cost. That's the most important word. Cheap as possible to get the mission done. Has nothing else to do with anything else. That's it. Just like a business.